Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos.
You have
Referrals is great. Actually, I have had a pile of referrals this year. I think I've closed 6 referrals this year,
how many?
which is the most I've ever done in a year. And I think I think 4 of them were agent to agent referrals, which is great. So, we do love referrals. I know that some people, like, they want to live just the referral business, you know what I mean? Like, "Oh, my business runs on referrals."
Right.
But there's no way to control that, you know? There's no scaling up or scaling back or you're kind of at the mercy of whoever's sharing your information, and I just like that.
So I somewhat disagree.
Okay.
So, guys, today we're talking about referrals, how to add them to your business, how to nurture them, processes, how we handle them, all the
Mhm.
things about referrals. And I kind of disagree with that point
That's fine. That's why
because,
we do this.
right? And I shouldn't say I disagree. I guess I have a different opinion. Um, I think if you strategically market yourself in within your firm, within different real estate networking groups, at uh, are you there? Oh, you just went away for a second. At conferences, things like that,
Mhm.
and push. Even if you do like a higher referral rate, say I'll give you 35%. I'll give you 40% for the first one or even 50 for the first one. And then, you taper the more they give you. I think you can very much control that, especially if you just want to give them out. I know a lot of agents who, anytime they get a lead, they refer it out because they don't want to sell houses. They have their license, but they're like, I don't want to practice it anymore.
Right.
Where I'll keep my license, pay my dues, and just sit here and collect referral fees. So they still talk about real estate. Their friends still know they are,
Mhm.
and they still network the hell out of themselves at professional events. So people, I mean, Dustin Brome, I think is pretty much 100% referrals. I can't speak like to that 100%, but I am
Right.
pretty sure his business is all referrals at this
Oh, and I
point.
know I know a lot of agents even I mean, remotely, locally, like, around the lake and things like that, some of these and I think that this is something that grows as you grow too, like, you're not gonna start year 1 as a referral agent and be super successful, I don't think, you know? You have
Right.
to have, like, some skin in the game, have been around a minute, so I think that, like, the retirement before we had our brokerage, retirement was being in the industry 10, 15, 20 years and then being like, okay, I don't want to be boots on the ground anymore. I'm just going to, like you said, keep my license active, stay up on my CE, all that stuff. And then as these people come back because I sold their parents a house and now they're ready to buy a house, I'm just going to pass that on to somebody else. But hey, collecting 25% a little after several transactions, that adds up pretty quickly. So,
Right. Or like I was cutting my referrals. You guys can see my transactions going on back here if you're watching us on YouTube when I finally get it uploaded. Um I got a referral this year. She and her husband licensed in South Carolina, I think also North Carolina. Um do amazing business. Decided to they wanted to be closer to their family. Their kids were getting, aging out of school, wanted those last couple years near the grandparents, so they moved back to Texas last year.
mm,
She's not licensed in Texas yet. She still has a full book of business in the Carolinas. She refers it all out and collects referral fees.
that's the way to do
So,
it. That's
yeah,
the way
I
to do it.
was
I know I met a couple of girls actually also in at Beach Retreat too. The same thing. Like one was in Kentucky previously and like moved to Florida or vice versa and runs her business like still mainly out of the state that they left while she builds a business in a new state. And it makes sense to do it that way.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah. If I ever leave the Carolinas,
mhm,
I'm still gonna have people here that are gonna want and they're gonna be like, "Who do I call? Who do I
mhm,
trust?"
yeah,
"Okay, hold on, like, give me a minute and I will, we'll get you someone." So it's a great way to build bit and I won't say it's passive because I still think there's work that goes into it if you're
for
good at
sure.
referrals.
And if you do it right, and same
Right,
thing, like, for receiving referrals too, like, this isn't just like a, "Oh, hey, thanks for the phone number," you know? Like, there's a lot that should
right. Right.
go into it.
Exactly. Sorry, my monitor just broke and I lost. Hold on. There it is. Okay.
No, you're fine. I think that agent to agent referrals are a huge thing because there's, I mean, there's several different ways to get referrals, but I feel like the two main like pools are your agent to agent referrals, and then your, of course, word of mouth, friend
Yeah.
to
Or
friend.
right. And like local businesses, like I have other businesses that, know of me that I've done stuff with that are like, hey, um, I have a friend looking for a house.
Hmm.
Here, like even people outside of real estate. So like I've gotten a couple obviously from like my mortgage lender, things like that. But
Yep.
other local but my mechanic, I've closed 2 deals this year straight from him. They were friends of his, they are young, didn't know who to use. Boom, like he sent me a referral. Now, can I pay him a referral fee? No, that's not allowed. But am I going to continue to nurture that relationship?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Um I would whether or not he gave me business. But um so I don't want people to think like it's only your sphere of influence and other agents. Like, no, it
Yeah.
can be past clients, it can be other businesses, it can be, like Erin joined it's not Burn Boot Camp, but one ISI or something.
Hmm.
She's building a network there. I've had I wouldn't say they're referrals, but gotten business from the gym,
Hmm.
um, because, like, I nurture those relationships, and those people will refer their friends and family to me. Like, there was one guy, he went to the gym I coached at, but I never coached him, and the owner
Hmm.
was like, "Hey, go talk to Alyssa."
Well, and
So
that's the thing too. It can be as simple as like those repetitive stops. Like if you have a coffee shop that you are at 5 days a week, that local nail lady, your hairstylist, your massage therapist, all of those people that you should be creating relationships with, like, they know what you do for a living. Like, that doesn't mean go into your massage appointment and be like, "Hey, did you hear anybody this week say that they
right,
needed to buy or sell a house?" Like, that comes with building that trust and relationship where they're like, "Hey," and they might not even tell you that, "Hey, I connected you with somebody," but that comes around. So when somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, I got your information," I do always ask where. And sometimes they got
right,
it off of Facebook or they read my Google reviews and they found me organically. But sometimes they were connected to me through somebody. And that's where I think the next step comes in as far as like making sure that you're thanking those people
yes.
that shared that information. So, what are a couple of things that you do, or what's your process if you're like, Sarah Joe down the street gave me your name and number. We're looking to buy this year. What do we do to get started? What do you do for Sarah Joe?
For Sarah Joe, I definitely, if I for some reason don't have her mailing address, will shoot a text or an email with like a digital like $5 Starbucks card. Um,
Yes.
and
Those are
just
so easy. There's no
oh my
excuse
god,
not to at least do that.
I have a client who was stressed out a couple weeks ago, he was super tired. He's trying to buy a house. Deals have fallen through. He was also in school with the sheriff's department getting his motorcycle road team certification, and it was really hard. He was like, "I am so tired," and I said, "Well, I looked up like kind of where the sheriff's department is. There's a Starbucks 2 blocks away. So here's $10. Go get yourself a latte today on me." Like I love the digital gift cards. Not a huge
Mhm.
fan of Starbucks, but I love digital gift cards.
It's so
But
easy. Yeah.
if I have their mailing address, it's a handwritten note saying, "Hey, thanks for sending them my way. I look forward to helping them. Thank you for thinking of me." Super sweet, super simple.
Mhm.
If I close with them, then sometimes there's a different a little more. Um, it all depends on the deal, and it all depends on I don't wanna say the price point, but, like, what happens and where things go, but
Mhm.
I definitely always initially instant thank you. "Hey, thanks for thinking of me. I appreciate you."
Yep.
So because if they've just talked to that person, then they remember. If it takes 6 months to buy or sell a house, they may not remember.
Mhm.
But not and them not remembering doesn't mean I don't need to acknowledge them. But if I do, it's usually like I send flowers or something like that. It's never a cash gift. It's always like
'Cause that just,
flowers.
like, re-sparks the, "Oh, yeah, that's why I love to refer."
Right.
I have a pretty hefty handful of local moms that will consistently tag me in posts on Facebook that people are looking, which is great. When I get like a specific connection, because Facebook did that anonymous post, right? So
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 these people looking for a realtor have gotten real smart and they do the anonymous post, because otherwise, like, that
Girl,
their inbox is getting blown up. You
that's how I
just
got my
know it.
first second
No,
listing.
I
That's how I got my second
understand
listing.
that. I understand that, but I also know that's why they post anonymously.
Oh,
So
yeah, for sure.
now when I get like those message requests, they're like, "Hey, you were tagged 543 times on this post and I looked at your Google reviews." I'm working with 3 people right now that's how that
Nice.
worked.
Very
So,
nice.
and I love to thank those, like, to love on those mamas every once in a while. And like you said, I don't send them all a $5 gift card every time that they
Right.
tag me in something, because that gets expensive really quickly. But every once in a while, I'll be like, "Hey, Katie, you get $10 here. Like, let's go grab
Right.
coffee on me." Like
Right.
nurturing those relationships. And then other things that I've done, like you said, like, and sometimes I do it if I sign the listing or something along those lines. Crumble Cookie delivers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Crumble Cookie
I'm gonna write this
delivers.
see, look, the notepad's coming out. I,
It's
like, literally as
amazing.
I was logging out, I was like, "Gotta get the notepad because I'm gonna
I
need it."
have gotten so many, like, "Oh my god, I just got a hot," and I try to keep the generic flavors, because you don't know, like, do people love, like, strawberry shortcake ice cream cookie? I don't
Right.
know. But you know what people do love? A warm chocolate chunk cookie. Like, if you don't, we probably weren't friends to begin with, so it's
Right.
fine. But they'll deliver them, and they'll be warm and delicious, and it's just fantastic.
I've
It's like
done
20
that
bucks.
with donuts before.
Oh, I love
So,
that.
when my clients are stressing out, because you can DoorDash anything,
Anything.
um, I will DoorDash them donuts with and then text, like, when I get notified it's delivered, be like, "Hey, donut tech
Thanks.
or donut stress. I've got a handle on this. It's gonna be okay."
That's awesome. No, that's a good one. And then there's ones like if they're a little farther away or you have really like no idea if they like chocolate chunk cookies. It's a little more expensive, but Sugar Wish is really cool. Have you ever had one of those?
I don't think I have.
I've sent a few. I've gotten a couple. They're really cool. So you get a link, like texted or emailed to you if you're the receiver, and it says, "You've been sent like a Sugar Wish." And these are cool because you can brand them. You can brand inside the box that they come
Ooh,
in, that comes with a card. It has your logo on it. It's really nice. It's a little more expensive, but you can select like 2 goodies or 4 goodies. And you open up the link and you can choose between, are you feeling something a little salty? You could get pretzels, you could get a trail mix, you could get gummy bears, you
I
could
love
get,
this.
and they also have them for pets. So you could go ahead and pick 4 different treats for your little four-legged friend.
Well, and totally
It's
off topic, but
great.
I just pulled up their website real quick to see. This is also a great way. So, like, we talked about events and things like that a
Mhm.
couple months ago of like the pie giveaways or don't
Yes.
or like delivering poinsettias or whatever at the holidays. This is a great way to touch your out of town clients.
Mhm.
This
Yep.
is I mean, it's a little more pricey than like a poinsettia or a pumpkin pie might be, but instead
It's
of just
staying in front of them.
right, and instead of just, like, sending them a thank you card or something, like, okay, at the end of the year, you can send them, this. I think that's a
Yep.
great idea.
Yep, super cool. And it's an all women owned business. It started out of their garage. Like if you read the story of their evolution and stuff, it's a really cool business. And I mean the ones that I've got, they're delicious, you know. It's
Yeah, I'm looking at them right this
candies,
is a great
goodies.
idea.
And say if you get set up as a business and you have on their website and things like that, you upload your logo, it goes in a card, you can customize, it's just
I love this. I'm gonna set this
easy.
up this afternoon. Because
Easy.
I've also done, like I have so on Amazon, you can create, like, shopping lists and things, right?
Mhm.
So I have a couple of things saved in there that are kind of similar, like, if there's one that's dog biscuits, but in, like, a birthday cake shape,
Oh,
so I'll s
nice.
if I know it's their pet's birthday or something, or their birthday and they have a dog, but or, like, little can things like that, because you can always customize the note from
Yes,
Amazon
that
too.
goes in
So if
there.
I need something like, "Hey, I need this overnighted," I go through Amazon right now, but I'm definitely gonna keep the Sugar Wish. This is a great idea.
It is. I love it.
Yeah, this is awesome. And I like that they can pick their own. So like you said, if you don't know their diet, like, one of my big things is I'm always concerned about gifting alcohol. And I know like I
Yeah,
did the prosecco last year and it was great and it was a hit, but God forbid I don't realize one of my clients is a recovering alcoholic.
right.
I love that this gives them the option.
Mhm.
Like there's all sorts of things. This is great.
Well, and
Um,
this I say this for I was talking about, like, my local moms and stuff, but this goes for agent to agent too, you know what I mean? It's just
yeah,
that step above, like, if you send them a link to pick out 4 goodies to keep on their desk for the next week and a half, like,
right.
they're gonna
Well,
remember you.
and especially with the rise of e-firms, like cloud firms,
Mhm.
that I don't always have an office to send something, and it's
Right.
creepy to Google their address. So if you do this,
Exactly. Exactly,
then
then they
they
check
put in their
essentially
address.
exactly, it's, like, paid for ahead of time, and
Right.
then they just, like, fill out their information.
Yeah,
That's
no, this is a
exactly
great idea.
right.
Right?
No more
Yeah.
stalking, like, the
No
tax
more
websites and GIS,
right,
like,
or, like, using
is she
forewarn
working
for the
under her
reasons
maiden name? Like, I'm
right?
confused.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
terrible.
But I also think this is great, like, so if you have clients who are relocating out of town,
Mhm.
for some rea like, this is a great closing gift idea too. Or, like, hey, they had a baby, things like that. This is a great way to nurture them as well. I love this idea. I'm definitely gonna use it. Love
Yeah.
it. Um, I think another way to nurture people and, um, to help build that referral business is social media. And so one of the things I like to do sometimes on my social media is I highlight local businesses. So especially if I'm getting a business to business referral, they become that business of the week.
Mhm.
Or like in my farming, we do a monthly newsletter and we've started every month putting a different locally small owned business in there.
Yep.
And so my referral partners are one of the first people that went in there. Um, and that boosts their business too. If
Yeah.
I go to their business, do a quick video, helps my business, nurtures them, and boosts their business. It's a win-win. Where do you find so I want to take a step back. Where do you find your referrals? Like, is most of your sphere of influence, do you get them inner firm? Like, what's
So
your strategy?
my this well, I don't really have a strategy. Like I said, this year's I've gotten the last 2 years, I'll get a referral from a past client, right? Or from somebody inside the school. That's great. This year, I've gotten a lot of referrals from agents, and those agents are part of um, like a real estate group, like on Facebook. You know what I mean? Those
Mhm.
kinds of connections. And I think only one has been inside the firm, and that was Mandolin from
Oh, nice. I
from
didn't know you got one
Vermont.
from her.
Yeah, yep, she sent me her clients were selling there, buying here, and
Nice.
we did that one. But other than that, like, I don't have I've seen some people, like, post their picture in front of, like, a map of the United States with, like, little pin dots of where they have agent connections, which is a
Right.
great idea, but I don't hunt down referrals. I love referrals. I'll send referrals, but it's not something that I market towards, if that makes sense.
Right. And now see, I didn't used to, but I'm starting to. Um, Especially to have connections for people leaving this area or
Mhm.
for my family from home who are
Yep.
relocating to other areas. Um, I actually just picked up a referral partner yesterday from the San Diego area who works
Nice.
with a lot of Marines who end up here. Um, but I think the Facebook groups are great. Just be careful. I've left most of them because, and this is fair warning for people, if they start discussing compensation,
Mhm.
they've now created a private MLS. And
Yeah, I
whether
think
or
I've
not,
left all of,
yeah.
like, the big ones, and when people post on there for referrals, there's 5,000 comments anyways, you know?
Well, and there's
Um,
always those referral pods that like it automatically, you're paying a monthly fee and all the
right.
members of that group will refer you for, and it's like, are you actually a
It's
good
silly.
agent or are you just able
It's
to afford a fee?
it's silly. So, besides the one that I got from, Mandolin, I have it's all been inside the Girls with Grit
Nice.
group,
Nice.
all of them, and they have their own, like,
They have a
website
portal
for
now, right?
yeah, they have a portal now too, so you can search, across the country, and you can search the what do they call it? Oh, the network. You can search the network for free to be listed on it. It's a fee, but other than that, it's just been inside that group. I don't think that I've gotten one
Nice.
necessarily from the network
Mhm.
website part of it. But those are just because and it's just like getting referrals or getting leads from any other Facebook group. If you're in there and
Right.
you're being active and answering and helpful and people see that you're doing the thing, it just comes more
Right.
naturally at that point.
Right. Well, and there
Besides fighting one of those groups that has 60,000 realtors in it
right.
and
Right.
they all pay to play. I don't
Yeah.
pay to play.
Well, and then, like, our firm is launching one. They announced it at Rise. There's gonna
Nice.
be a new map/portal to help you find
Mhm.
so that you don't have to post in Workplace and hope people comment,
Fantastic. Very
or, like,
excited about
that
that.
hope people actually like, if you live in an area like us where there's a ton of real agents, sometimes people get more, tags than you do, which is fine. Um, I think a great strategy is to, offer a higher like, get in those groups and say, "Hey, first referral is 40% if you send them to me. After that, I'll give you if the next 2, I'll do 35 or 30, and then,
Mhm.
from there on out, it's 20% every referral." I think that, along with, like, being active in the group and participating, that also helps. Like, make the post that says, "Hey, if you send me a referral, it's this for the first one." That if you're really trying to build a referral business.
I'll say, yeah, if you were trying to build a business based on referrals, I think that for me, I don't think that I would do it because the chances of getting multiple referrals from the same source is
Right.
lower. You know what I mean? Like what are the chances half their town is going to move here and you're going to wind up at that 20 or 25%?
Well, and so that brings me to another point. There is a website, and I can never remember what it is. I have it tagged somewhere that you can go and you can see where people are migrating to
Mhm.
from your area.
Yep.
So what I would do is search out agents or groups from those areas and say, "Hey, this number of people every year are moving from your area to mine. I'd love to help. So the first one you send me." And so, like, don't just generalize it.
Right.
Pick areas where there's a mass exodus from that's moving to your area. Like, I hate to say it, I love where I grew up, but Central New York, a lot of people
Nobody's
moved to
staying there.
Charlotte. Swear to
Yeah.
God, half my graduating class from high school and college are in Charlotte right now. Um, so the people like agents up there are people I would target. Like, my cousin's an agent in Buffalo. She knows you send me a referral for Charlotte, you're gonna get a good referral fee because I'm gonna take care of them.
Mhm.
I also think look for agents who are retiring and who haven't been with a firm that has a system for retirement.
Mhm.
If they just want to maybe give you your book of business instead of buying it up front and paying tens of thousands of dollars or whatever, be like, "Hey, for every deal I close out of contacts you gave me for the next however many years, you get a referral fee." That's a great way to buy someone's book of business.
Yep.
And it keeps money, like monthly money flowing for them so they don't have a big tax bill up front. They have income every year, if you're able to close it. Um, I think that's a great way to build a referral. Look for them, or look for agents who are getting too busy and don't want to build a team.
Mhm.
Just be like, "Hey," or like agents who are just outside your area. Like, someone the other day wanted someone in Greensboro, and I was like, "Nope, but I know someone." Like, I'm not going to Greensboro,
Well, and
sorry.
that's the thing too, because you've got agents like in Charlotte that, and I was that like I traveled a lot. I've been dialing back into where I like to work kind of thing. But
Right.
there are people that from Charlotte that will go to Wilkesboro or Wilmington or you know what I mean. Those kinds
Yeah.
of, and it's just like ugh.
Um, how do you, when you get a referral, um, like, keep that agent informed? I know how I do it,
I
but
just
how
do
do
milestones. I do milestones because I don't want to be like here's what we talked about today. I just for me, when I refer business out, I want to know that things are moving. I want to know that they're being taken care of, but I don't need you to text me every day with an update. I got a
Right.
lot of stuff going on too. So usually if
Yes.
they call and they'll be like, I'll send you the information, what I'd rather them do is pop us in a group text. pop us in a
Yes.
group text, introduce me, let me take it from there. But that way, like, there's something to be said about making that connection. Same thing like when I'm referring clients to lenders or anything like that. Like, if you do the icebreaker and you're like, hey, Alyssa, I'm connecting you with so and so for this reason, and let them take it from there. And I do the same thing with referrals. And it works really well because then they're
Yes.
like, "Oh gosh, thank you so much for the connection." And then you can see that both sides responded. You can see that we're off to a good start, right?
Yep.
And then from there, I don't even have a timeline. There's one that I've been working with for almost a year now. I've reached out to the agent that referred it to me probably twice and just said, "Hey, we're still looking."
Right.
No progress, right? And then
Right.
last week I was like, "I know it's been a long time coming and you probably forgot about them, but we're under contract," like that kind of thing.
Right.
And from there, we're through inspections, appraisal came back great, closing date is here. That. That's
Right.
it. That's all they need. I don't think that you should get a referral and ghost the agent until they blindly get a check delivered at their door. I mean, that's a great
Right.
surprise, but I think again, for long term, them to send you again like this, I knew every step of the way. They were taken care of. She was communicative. I just think it's easy. Just pop it in a text. You don't have to do an email. Just, hey, we're through due diligence.
Right.
Hey, the appraisal came back. Hey, we're closing on Wednesday.
That's exactly what I do.
Congratulations, it's closing day. Thank you again for the referral. Sugar wish box.
Yep. Yep. And
See ya.
I just blind so different, especially like, okay, hey, appraisal came back and that email that I send to my client,
Mhm.
blind copy the referral agent so they know. Like I don't
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a separate email. Just blind copy them and then it goes.
easy peasy.
Yeah, it's super easy. But I think it's very important, and I think it's a part a lot of people skip, unfortunately, and it's like you
Mhm.
can't skip that part because if you're not keeping them informed, at least at the minimum, they're going to wonder how you're handling their client or
Mhm.
their family member or their friend.
Right, right.
Don't leave them in the dark. They have every right to know, especially if it's someone that they've nurtured for forever or someone very important to them and not just someone who Googled them and then they handed it off.
Yeah. I
Um
also think that there's a couple of things not to do.
Yes. That was literally
And
what I
I
was
see
gonna
this a
say next.
lot. Listen, like a lot. We just had a conversation. I think it was with the Statesville Coffee Group that they had a situation that like one agent had a listing, they terminated, they relisted with another agent, and the previous listing agent called the new listing agent and said, "Hey, those are my clients. I'd like a 35% referral."
Oh, weird. I just heard that story about someone we know.
Did you?
Yeah, we can
Good,
talk
good.
about that one
Like
later.
what? No, that's
Uh-huh.
not how that works. If you couldn't get the job done, no, and if they already found a realtor, you don't get to just because they're your neighbor's best friend's cousin and you know
Mhm.
them and you know the agent, you don't get to reach out and say, "Hey,
Yep.
PS, I knew them. I'd love to get a referral on that business."
Yeah.
No,
Or
if you
like
didn't make the connection, no,
yeah.
thank you
Or
though.
like, say my cousin buys a new house in New York
Mhm,
and a different cousin, 'cause I have a couple of them up there, and I catch wind of it. I
mhm.
don't call that agent, be like, "That's my cousin, you owe me a referral." Like, my aunt is selling my uncle's house right now, and I didn't call that agent and be like, "Hey, I lived next door for 20 years, you owe me a referral fee."
Well, right, and that's
No.
just like I don't wanna say, like, bad on you for not paying attention, but, like, there are
Well,
things that
n
you
there's
can
a whole
be.
family dynamic there, so
Yeah,
no.
absolutely.
But
There's all kinds of stuff, but, like,
right.
the point is, if you don't it just seems salty. It seems
Yes.
greedy. It's
Well, and it
grimy.
seems
I just don't like
slimy.
it.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah,
used
just
car salesman,
don't.
don't do
Oh
it.
my
You
god.
know what? Chalk it up to your mistake.
Mhm,
Make sure you're nurturing your friends and family, you're talking about business.
mhm.
That one's on you, y'all. That
One
one's
of my
on
past
you.
clients listed and sold with another agent, and I had been in contact with them, right? And I'm like, "Oh my god, I had no idea you were selling the house." Guess what they said? You're so busy, like, we see you out doing," and I'm like, "Ugh."
Right? Right?
But I've been called
Busy can be good and it
right,
can be detrimental. And I think
right, but
that's why it's important we also when we're posting how great business is, you and I are pretty good at also posting, "Look at how I leverage these tools. Look at how I still have time to live
uh-huh,
my life. Look at how my clients are so well taken care of. I'm
mhm,
not too busy for other people."
mhm.
Like, We
Yeah,
show
no,
the tools
it's
and stuff we use,
great,
so
but don't try to reach out. Too little, too late, and it's just gross. Don't do it.
right?
Mm.
How do you use Oh, the other thing not to do, and I've seen people try to do this, is to not pay the referral fee.
Which is so stupid.
It is, especially, like, if you got it from, like, Realtor.com or Estately or one of those, and you're like, "Oh, no, they didn't close." You think they don't check with those people? You think they
Mhm.
don't have lawyers that are far more well paid than your lawyer
Right.
is? Just
Mhm. Give
pay
them
it.
the $1,000.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not
Mm.
worth it at all. Um, Not at all. Like, the risk plus the blemish just and also don't make it hard to collect the fee.
Mhm.
If someone sends you wiring instructions, wire it. Don't mail. I can't tell you how many times my mom's closing was one of them. It was months before I got paid on that because they kept mailing it some random place. And at first they mailed it to our state office. I said, "Nope, the instructions very clearly said not
Go to
there."
California, yeah.
And it was just like she's like, "We don't do wires." Okay, one, if you're at a firm that doesn't do wires in the year 2024, might be time to switch some things up. If that's
Mhm.
that's the technology they're not willing to step into, there's
Right.
some other things we need to talk about. But, yeah, don't make it hard for the other agent to collect it because I can guarantee you there's other reasons I'm never gonna refer to that agent again, but that's also one of them.
Mhm.
Like, knowing that they can't get a referral fee delivered correctly, what else did they not do
Or in
correctly?
a timely manner,
Right.
and I mean, there's some things that you can't help, right?
Right,
It's
agreed.
processed by your firm, it's sent out, but what you can do is stay just, like, proactive and be like, "Hey, checking in. Did you
Right.
get it? Did you not get it?" And then make sure that it's handled, so they know that you're not just like, "Oh, I got paid." I hope you get paid,
Right.
but I got paid.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
the
I
2
think
things I would say don't do. I can't think of anything else I wouldn't do. I mean, I
no,
will
me
say there's
either.
one thing. There is one thing. So, I got a referral last year, and after I got the referral and had started working with the clients is when I decided to switch firms. And I called the agent who sent me the referral and was
Mhm,
very upfront and said, "Hey, when you sent this to me, this was not on the table. This is something that has developed since then. But I wanted to be transparent with you because I remembered you saying you wanted someone in that firm.
mhm.
I'm currently in the process of leaving. How do you want to handle this?" And he
It's just a
said,
respect thing.
"Right." But do you know what he said? "I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I might pull it." Bro, you, the firm name should not matter as long as your client is being well taken care of. And
Right.
that's what happened. He called his clients and they were like, "We don't care if you get paid or not. We love her. We're gonna work with her."
Mhm.
But and then he dropped the ball last minute and they don't want to work with him ever again. But that's a
Oh,
whole nother
no.
story. But don't if you give a referral and you're especially if your clients are happy, don't pull it. Now, if you give a
Yeah, no.
referral and your clients call you and say, "This is not going well. We don't want to work with this person," then yeah, have that. I had that happen this year. It wasn't my
Mhm.
fault. I'll like it was when Oliver was dying. All sorts of things were happening, but their client said, "We don't want to take any action until September."
Yep.
And I very clearly laid out, "Okay, well, I'll set up the search so you can see what things look like, and then we'll stay in touch now and then. And then when September gets here, when you're in the area, we'll connect and we'll start communicating more, just before you come so that because things are going to be gone. The houses in July aren't going to be here in September." They called the referral agent and told them that I wasn't responsive and wasn't taking them seriously. And I called her and I was like, "Hey, I just want to explain. One, that was a time when my phone was broken. So there was literally a missed call I didn't know came in.
Mhm.
But two, here's the emails. Here's the conversations that we had. So I don't want you to think I'm bad at what I do."
Right.
Like, so it was the weirdest thing. So just make sure, I guess what I should have done then was copied her on that communication and
Yeah.
said, so she was aware so that she could talk to them and say, "Well, you did tell her not, and this is what, if you wanted something different, you should have said, no, we want to talk." Because they wanted to talk every day between July and September. And I was like, that's very unrealistic. If you literally like and I had said to them, like, "If something comes up before then you're like, 'We want this one, this is it,' obviously reach out, like, we'll jump on it." But it was just weird. So just don't pull it unnecessarily. That's one, not a like, it's just rude. And two, like, especially if the agent's doing a good job.
Mhm.
But if there is an issue, then let's talk about it. Don't just ghost people. Which I was very impressed. That agent did not ghost her clients did. But, um, like, communicate on both sides.
Yep,
That would be
that's
my
I mean,
only
that's the
other.
name of the game for whatever clients you're working with, so
Yes.
but yeah, same thing, I had one that they're like, "Oh, we would love to use you, but I realized that you're not with KW anymore, so I'm gonna refer them to this agent." And I was like, "Oh, shoot, that
Which
sucks."
I don't
What?
yeah,
And then I had one that she didn't even know that she could refer outside of her brokerage. I was like,
see,
"Oh, honey. Oh, honey, there
I
is a whole wide world out here."
right? That's why we're here, Brenna. That's why we
Yeah.
are here to talk about
Uh-huh,
these things so
uh-huh.
agents know.
The more you know.
Yeah, reading rainbow.
Yeah, right.
Um,
So basically, you guys, if you have somebody looking in Hickory area, that's me. You got somebody looking in Charlotte, Gastonia,
South Carolina, South
South
Kakalaki.
Carolina, yeah,
Right.
Alyssa's your girl.
We
That's
got y'all
basically it.
covered.
That's why we did this podcast,
Yes.
to get referred.
It's really the only reason, like, come on, y'all.
This is
Um
part of our referral strategy 2025.
Yes. So guys, if you are wondering how to get referrals, we've given you some ideas here, but quick overview. Your sphere of influence, nurture them, talk to them. Sometimes you have to educate them a little. Like when I started, I didn't know I didn't know realtors could work with refer out of state. A lot of people don't realize that. So, like, it'll come up in conversation. Like when
Mhm,
you're talking about your business, "Oh, yeah, I just got a referral from blah, 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 blah." Wait, what's a referral? Like, talk to your sphere, talk to your people. Um, Other businesses, engage with them, offer, services back and forth or something. Like if you're constantly recommending them, they're gonna take notice. Um, you can do avoid the referral pods. I think they're a little slimy. But like the networks that you're in, that's great. Like Real is building one of those networks for us so that we can see who's where, like just looking at a map. Um,
yeah,
you can
KW had one of those too, which was cool.
yeah, like right now we use Workplace and there's like a group, but I think
It's
that
kind of
will
a hot mess,
it's kind of a
honestly.
hot mess. Yeah. It was the same at EXP though. It was the same way
Mhm,
and it was a hot mess. And then the other thing, like you can use it's not it's a lead source, but it's referral based, I guess. They call them referrals, like estately. They'll or what's the other one? There's one owned by Realtor. Opcity. Those are technically referrals, the way they handle them. So, those are great to start if you don't have a sphere of influence where you are or, you're uncomfortable doing some of these other things. That's a great way to start building business referral base and then nurture the hell out of everybody. I think is
mhm,
the best tip so that they remember to come. So they're not just like, "Oh, I got her paid and then she didn't do anything." Okay, well, no, that's not how that worked, but
right.
okay. But those I think that's a closing thing, like, if highlights, those are where I would find them, and then just nurture the hell out of them.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.